Welcome in, Truth Friday. I love this because we get to have this conversation about what vulnerability is, because sometimes we feel like we're oversharing because we're vulnerable, that we may show up that we're wimpy because we're being vulnerable. But what if it's your superpower as a leadership? My name is Rhonda Liebig. I run this group, Fresh Talks Global Vision, and the podcast, Fresh Talks Global Vision. I think that if we clear our mind and don't let those sabotages take over us, where your mind does 70,000 words in a whole day and just keeps going and going and going, and there's these past patterns that you've been doing since you were very young, and you just do them over and over, and you really believe that it's you, like those patterns, that it's you, that you think that if you don't clear them, that's the safe spot because that's who you are. Let me say it another way. Who you are right now, that's not the true you. I mean, this is crazy, and I wonder if you'll stay after I say this, but all the patterns that you're doing right now, is this based on when you were a child and the experiences that you had? And if you believe in past lives, let's see if you stay after I say that it's really what you're learning to experience in your life so that you excel as a human being. I know that I keep getting better and better in my mind, and that I keep learning, and that vulnerability really expands. How about for you? Vulnerability is not a weakness. I used to not want to talk about my emotions, and so I'd stay quiet because I saw things more up and down and poor me and stuff like that. I was afraid to talk because I didn't want that to show. And as soon as I started talking, I started noticing I was very negative, but I didn't know it until I started talking. I was like, here, did I just say that? Why did I say that? Have you had those times where you just say things over and over in your head, like, why did I say that in that group? Why am I doing that? I didn't know I was so negative. Why am I talking like that? Vulnerability helps you stay open so that you can hear your patterns that you want to clear. Things that used to get you angry, frustrated, thinking bad about yourself, they start going away. You start believing in yourself more, and when you believe in yourself more, that vulnerability will show, and you will become this person that you authentically are. To stay in vulnerability, your heart, you want to keep that heart open. That's how you get there. You can't get in your vulnerability in your head because then it's calculated. And you go, I'm going to act like this. I acted this way in this situation. I'm going to be better. But the mind is fight or flight. So every time that you do something, say something that you're unhappy about, you're like, why did I say that? You're going to notice that you're going to be at yourself. But if you, and I'm coming in with 15 plus years in this coaching that I've been doing. And I keep reading about the brain because it's amazing what we learn about what's going on with the brain and how we can repattern ourselves. This goes to so many stories around the telomeres and about being able to repattern your brain and understanding that. And I study it almost every day. And especially when I'm with my clients, I get to bring in this new stuff. That brings vulnerability because all of a sudden you don't wear that mask when you walk into a room. You literally are yourself. Some people won't like you because you're not putting a mask on. You're not trying to pretend and interface with somebody because the way that they want you to, but you just come up and almost like serve as a human being. But maybe your personality rubs somebody wrong. Maybe somebody is not happy with the way you say things. But the more truthful you are, the more you feel comfortable and the more about with yourself, but the more you'll have strong bonded friendships because people will see you consistently coming in over and over as the same person and you will never change. And I used to have a problem with that because I would be hanging out with my people when I was waitressing. I'd be hanging out with the people that were waitressing like me. When I became a head waiter, I was starting to do a little bit more managerial things, and I would go to the manager and say, hey, so-and-so is not wearing the right pants. And that would get me in hot water because I was showing up as two different people. Instead of directly going to that person and saying, hey, I'm the head waiter here, and can you wear different pants next time, or what's going on, or let's have this conversation. Instead, I'd go to the manager because I didn't feel like I was worthy enough to be a head waiter. I thought, well, I'm just going to have this attitude that like I'm cocky because I wasn't comfortable with it. So I'd stay in my brain about it, just like questioning myself as a person. Like, I can't do that because I'm not that cool. People are cool that are head waiters. They're cool because they get to do all these extra managerial things. Well, I was too much in my head, and I'd lose a lot of friendships. And I would do that no matter what, with every friendship I had. And my friendships were very weak and ready to fall apart because people were getting tired of me going back and forth. Or I invited people in just like me. Ups and downs, ups and downs. So I thought that I was boring when I would close my mouth and I just wouldn't say anything. And I would be at myself going, looking in the mirror going, here, wait, what do I look like? Do I have my makeup on right? Like, I was hoping somebody else could tell me instead of me being able to see myself. And I would say, are you boring? Oh my gosh, so-and-so is so much fun. So-and-so is so much fun, but I'm extremely boring. And so these things are going in cycles. So that type of vulnerability is one that doesn't build you in your strength. It really actually is built on you really shaming yourself and not knowing who you are. Not that vulnerability I'm talking about. I'm talking about the vulnerability where you just breathe in. You've been doing your mindset work. You get hunkered and grounded in, and you say stuff through your heart. Tell somebody you love them. Oh, that's vulnerable. I can remember when I started loving on people through my heart, I was so scared because I would cry because I'd just be feeling so much love. And my kids get this all the time. Just on Thanksgiving, I was talking to, I was talking to my son, and my hubby said something that was like really heart-centered. And so I just kept talking, and then all of a sudden, it just sunk in that my hubby said something very loving to our son and how he was missing him. And, I'm going to cry. And so this is my kids watching their mom give them more love, but I don't think they always love it. So I started talking to my son and just sharing with him just what I love about him. But I started crying because this is still so new for me, even after 15 years of doing this work, to really give love to my kids, deeply tell them why they mean so much to the family. And I'm not saying it just because they're mom. I'm also watching them just as a person that's just advising or like guiding, not doing anything but guiding now, because now they're more adults. And the experience of watching them be human beings out there. And everybody was silent. But my son is so strong, and he just said, just that he loved us. Probably not, I don't know if he just said loved me, but that he understood. And that vulnerability, you don't have to cry, but that vulnerability, when you get used to it, as you're getting used to it, you may cry, and people may be uncomfortable, but the more you show up, the less you cry, because that exposure doesn't feel extremely vulnerable. But it's okay if you do, because it's related with love. And I would only give love so much because I thought that if I give love at a certain level, then somebody won't think, oh yeah, I'm just so hot stuff because so-and-so loves me this much. Or, don't give too much to somebody because you have to protect your heart. Don't give too much because it brings vulnerability, and people may not maybe love on you as much. They may think that you are weak, that you really need them. And if you really need someone, then they're going to walk away from you because you need someone. But that's the old vulnerability. The new vulnerability is your superpower. This is where people feel the love. They don't feel that you're latching on. They feel that you're opening up the space to truly love on someone. And if you do that, this is what grows everything. This is really your superpower. This really is hashtag Truth Friday. This really is where you get to open your voice, and you literally get to stop blaming and shaming yourself. And what you'll notice is when you look out through your eyes, or even if you step out of your body, because I like to do that also, where I'm just not stuck in all this chemistry and chemicals and the way that my body reacts to things, but really stepping out and truly looking at someone or looking at myself and saying, Rhonda, you got this. Keep opening yourself up, because the people around you will trust you. And that word trust is a hard one. Since I've been coaching for years, I can remember when I threw out that word trust, it would trigger people really bad because they were learning how to trust themselves. But I didn't trust myself enough to really hold the space for them, to just allow them to be in that nurturing space of trust and know that they can trust themselves. And sometimes when they showed up and they did something that they thought that they shouldn't, that they could reconcile it with their heart and understand what pattern was showing up so they could clear that. As a coach, I look at what pattern you're in, how you're feeling, are you aware of what you're doing? And that's where some play comes in. Where'd that come from, as far as you understand? And you're going to naturally tell a story. And then understanding that that's a pattern. That's a cycle. And you learned it and you hear in that story. That story that you go, here, wait, that's when I first remembered when my voice was shut down. I can remember that, but I don't know if that was the first time, but I can remember that story. And then you go, well, that incident right there is what probably brought this on, as far as you know. But if you took that incident away before that, who were you? Did anyone really take your voice away? But when you were younger, you just didn't understand. And you start feeling safe in places because nobody can take your voice away. It's up for you to step in and be the leader you are. Be the leader you are. I call this hashtag speaker locking arms. Be the leader you are. Naturally. Leaders don't tell people what to do. Leaders guide. Leaders help people fall in love with themselves. Leaders give love all the time. And when they don't, they know that they have a pattern that they have to clear right then and there. And sometimes we don't notice it because we, meaning you're a leader also, and you may not know it yet. But when you start clearing and realizing how strong and powerful being a vulnerability is, that you can hear and see people and understand what to say, and you won't get yourself in a space where you shut down. You won't shut down. This, I feel, is like a humanitarian project that I'm in. I think we want to clear our patterns. We want to stop the blaming and shaming out there. But we need to understand ourselves. If we stay in the head and try and protect our heart, our brain is going to want to fight. Our heart is going to want to understand, not just love on people, because you love on people where you naturally go, because your energy will bring you to the people that you see. My humanitarian project about opening the voices and stopping the blaming and shaming, we have an event today. 12 Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern time. 2 hours, my board of advisors ignite power together. We're going to be together. And we want your voice to open up. We're going to do breakout rooms. We're going to talk about what are the patterns, maybe, but what are the things that you get stuck in? What are the things that you're noticing out there that you want changes, that you feel the pain out there? It's going to be about loving, not fighting on the situation. So I want to open it up to a very heart-centered space today when we start at noon Pacific. I would love to have you there. Fresh Talks Global Vision is all about that. We bring experts in really speaking about this. And everybody has their expert space, but they know that there's a deeper reason why they do what they do. Come and be with us live. At least opt in so that you get the recording and then you keep learning more and more about this. By September, October, we're going to be doing a live event. In 2 months, we'll do another virtual event. So even if you can't make it today, remember this part of vulnerability is allowing you to stay open and full truth. And people will love you for who you are. You won't shift back and forth for who you are. You know who you are, and you'll keep learning who you are, and you'll know that your patterns are not who you are, because that's what breaks up relationships. Those patterns that are cycled, you don't even know why you're doing it. You don't even know why you're showing up as a bitch. But you know that that space does not serve you anymore. This is what the group is about. This is what my humanitarian project is about. This is what the board, Ignite Power Together, is about. We have Rachel Kelb, Sharon Dunlevy, Vesna Matic, and that's the board. It's a tight-knit board so we can get shit done and power it up. But we may add in partners as we go along, but this is the core group. We got each other's back. And we've been together, and we've done maybe even a little bit of crying, frustration, communicated back and forth, and none of us have physically met yet, but we will be. We got each other's back. Who has your back? I have your back in here, and anytime you need support, I am here. Step into being the best human that you can on this earth. Stay in your vulnerability. I love you in sign language. Namaste. Have a fabulous Friday.